Hello there, it's Sarah from Paper Lovely. Thanks for joining me today. I am back with part 2 of my 10 cards 1 kit using the Spellbinders October 2019 card kit. If you missed the first 5 cards, you'll want to check those out in the video that I posted yesterday. For now, I'm going to hop here right into card number 6. So I have started out with this really sweet sticker. This is a dimensional sticker with the mouse inside the mitten, peeking his little head out there. And I've popped that up with some of my sticky thumb foam dots. That's going to allow me to place that down with all of this ephemera to move that around and make sure I get everything where I'd like it without having to worry about things sticking underneath the sticker. So I have taken some of this browned cardstock and I've added some of that double-sided sticky tape behind it. I have trimmed that to 3 3/4 by 5 inches. Placed that down here on the top of my card base, and now I'm going to pull in this ephemera again just to make sure I have everything lined up the way that I would like it. Once that is all in place, I'm going to pull in my art glitter glue, and I will just sort of keep my fingers on top of the ephemera but peel up the edges and add a little bit of glue behind it just to make sure I'm keeping everything in place as best as I can. Once I'm happy with that background there, I'm going to peel away the backing on my foam dots and I will press my little mouse and mitten into place. I also want to pop up this Holiday Wishes sentiment. Since the majority of that is going to be on top of the mitten, I'm just going to add 4 little dots off to the side there. And then I'll peel away the backing and I'm going to add a little bit of art glitter glue on the other section just to make sure that stays down nice and tight on top of the mitten. This was one of my favorite sentiments. I really love the script of that Holiday Wishes. For the inside, I'm going to add one of the sentiment stickers. This reads Merry Everything. And then I'm going to finish that off with another one of those sprigs with the purple berries, just adding a little glitter glue there, and I'll place that down coming in from the top. I did then cut away just that little bit of excess, and that will complete card number 6. So here for card 7, I'm using this really beautiful floral pattern paper. This was one of my favorites that came in the kit this month. I have trimmed that to 3 3/4 by 5 inches, placed that down on some gray cardstock that has been trimmed to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I then trimmed off a strip of this light pink cardstock that measures about 3/4 of an inch by 5 1/2. I've again added some double-sided tape and I'm going to run that along the bottom of this panel here. I've pulled in this Fa La La sentiment and I'm going to pop that up here with some foam dots. I use every bit of that foam square that comes in the kit every month. Going to peel away the backing here, all those little pieces, and I'm going to place that down on top of that pink strip right in the center. There you can see I've also pulled in this very glittery reindeer. I'm again going to pop this up, this time using some of my sticky thumb dots, peel away the backing, and then I'm going to center that right above my sentiment. I'll add some art glitter glue to the back of my panel and place that down on top of my card base. Then here for the inside, I'm going to add 'Tis the Season. And I'm going to finish up with one of these painted flowers, just adding some art glitter glue and letting that hang off of either edge of that corner. I did trim then off that excess, and that will complete card number 7. Here for card number 8, I'm going to layer up a bunch of this ephemera. I have trimmed down this sort of star pattern paper to 3 3/4 by 5 inches. I'm placing that down again on a cardstock panel measured at 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/2. I'm going to lay out some of these snowflakes and stars, as well as this Santa and joy sentiment. Just creating a little cluster there. And I'm going to get these background items all glued down with some art glitter glue. Go ahead and place my large blue star up at the corner there. And then for the joy, I'm going to pop this up with some foam tape. I'm using my 1/8 inch foam tape, and I'm going to place one layer of that all the way behind this sentiment. Just cutting this into some smaller pieces and sort of curving those around. There, I peeled off the backing, and I'll go ahead and press this into place. I also want to pop up this a Christmas wish sentiment. And I'm going to place that down here, and then just in the spaces between the J and the Y where I don't have that already popped up, I'm going to add a few smaller pieces of my foam tape just to make sure to keep everything nice and even there. I'll go ahead and peel away the backing and also add some art glitter glue to the sections that don't have any foam tape. And I'll press that into place. Next, I'm going to add on some of these smaller silver stars. And then lastly, because I could not stop adding things to the front of this panel, I'm going to pull in some of these small glittery enamel dots, and I'm going to add 3 of these as well, just placing those directly in the center of the starbursts that are on the background paper. I'll trim off the excess from that star at the top there, add some art glitter glue to the back of my panel, and place that down on top of my card base. For the inside, I'm adding the sentiment Season's Greetings. And then I'm going to finish up by adding 3 more of those stars on the inside. Since I'm not going to be able to cut off the excess from the star I have somewhat in the middle there, I'm just going to take my pencil and mark there where, or actually I just took my scissors and made a mark there of where I wanted my crease to be. So I'll trim off that excess, then add the glue, and place that down right along my fold. And that will complete card number 8. For card number 9, I'm going to create some snowdrifts. I had an extra piece of the white snowbank that I had used from the previous cards, and I just went ahead and actually tore that right in half. I had only planned on using one side of it, but once I played around with this for a little bit, I decided to again layer to make a double sort of hillside of that. I have trimmed down my background pattern paper to 3 3/4 by 5 inches. For these snowdrifts here, I'm going to add 1 line along the bottom for my front snowdrift, and I will add 2 along the back snowdrift, just like I did with the card in yesterday's video. I want to make sure I've got this lined up exactly how I want it, because since I didn't have a larger piece for that hill in the background, it's not going to go all the way to the bottom of my card. So I want to make sure here, being very careful, that I've got this lined up exactly where I want it. And I'm going to peel away this backing, and I'll get this back layer pressed into place. Then I'll peel away just the backing on that lower portion of this top snowdrift. I'm leaving the backing on the top one just until I get everything tucked into place where I'd like it to be. I'm gonna grab these two deer and get them lined up here. Once I'm happy with that, I'll add some art glitter glue and place down the one in the back. And then I'll go ahead and add down the one in the front. For my sentiment, I'm using one of the die cut banners that reads "Merry Ho Ho Ho." Again, I'll use some of the remainder of my foam dots to pop that up. And I'll press that here into place. Lastly, I'm going to finish up the front here with 3 more of those glitter enamel dots. And I'm just going to add a row of these up at the top right hand corner here. I'll add some art glitter glue to the back of my panel and place that here on top of my card base. For the inside here, I'm going to add in a sticker that reads "Merry Everything." And then I've pulled in some of these leaves or fronds, I'm not sure what you would call those. And I'm going to sort of just curl those around my sentiment. I've trimmed off the excess there, and that will complete card number 9. Here for card number 10, I'm going to finally pull in some of these swans. I have trimmed down my blue background to 3 3/4 by 5 inches, and I'm going to place these down, sort of having them face one another, and add in a few of the fronds and leaves, and that really pretty pink flower with the silver center. I'm just laying everything out, making sure I've got it in place where I'd like it to be. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some art glitter glue. Now, as I'm gluing down the swans, I'm making sure to leave their tails without any glue behind them, because I want to pop those up for a little bit of extra dimension. So just adding some glue behind the heads and really the front of their wings. And then I'm going to grab some of my foam dots and add just a few small pieces, one behind the tail, here up at the top or wing, and then I'll do another small one on the opposite side. Finally finishing up with one really tiny one underneath that second wing. also going to pop up this pink flower. Get that pressed into place. And then I'll pop up this sentiment, which again reads, "Merry ho ho ho." I was trying to be careful of that because I didn't want to run the pop dots into the wing that I had popped up. I didn't want that to have double dimension. So I'm just carefully positioning that there. Again, adding some foam dots behind. I'll peel away the backing and press that into place. Finally, I'm going to add some art glitter glue to the back of that 25, and I'll press that down. I did get that a little bit crooked. You'll see I peel that up really quickly and place that down one more time. Adding another foam dot there just to make sure that's down nice and tight. I'll add some art glitter glue to the back of my panel and place that down on top of my card base. For the inside, I'm adding a Happy Holidays sticker. And I'm going to finish up by pulling in one of those sprigs of the purple berries towards the bottom here. Trim off that excess, and that will complete card number 10. Here are a few close-ups of the finished cards. In the description box below, you'll find my blog post, which has additional photos and links to the supplies I used. If you enjoyed the video, please leave me a comment or a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.